Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My topic is graph neural network-based vulnerability predication. My name is Feng Qi from National University of Defense Technology in China. Software vulnerability is a major threat to the security of software systems, and the automatic vulnerability detection is challenging. Existing approaches for vulnerability detection can be classified into dynamic and static methods, and we are concerned with the static vulnerability detection on the source code of the program under analysis. We propose a general graph neural network-based vulnerability detection framework. Figure 1 shows our GNN-based framework, which consists of 3 components: program's graph representation, graph structure encoding, and vulnerability prediction. Our framework provides a function-level vulnerability prediction. Given a program as the input, we represent each function in the program according to different graph representations, such as AST and CFG. After that, we can use different encoding methods to encode the nodes in the graph, forming the basis of the learning in the next step. Then, we employ a GNN learning method to train a vulnerability prediction model based on the vector data. In program's graph representation, we consider 3 typical graph representations: AST, CFG, and CPG. CPG is an extensible and language-agnostic representation of the program for incremental and distributed code analysis. In graph node encoding, in order to facilitate the model training of the GNN learning method later, we need to provide an initial encoding of each node in the graphs. The basic idea is to provide an encoding of each node type. We use 3 different methods for encoding: random, back-of-words, and walk-to-walk. Back-of-words counts the number of times that the node type appears in some representative code structures. Walk-to-walk utilizes the existing word embedding method by training the word model from the node type sequences generated by traversing graphs in a predefined order. Based on the before 2 steps, we can generate the data for GNN. Our framework only predicates whether a function has any vulnerabilities, which is a classification problem. We consider 3 representative GNN learning methods: diffpool, set-to-set, and DGCNN. We train a binary classification GNN model for each type of vulnerabilities. Then, for predicting the vulnerabilities of a function, we input the graph encoding of the function to each vulnerability prediction model. Our framework is general and can be instantiated with different graph representations, initial node encodings, and learning methods. For vulnerability prediction, we want to answer the following 2 questions by the experimental study. 1. Which combination of graph representation, initial node encoding, and learning method is more effective for vulnerability prediction? 2. How effective is the GNN-based vulnerability prediction? The experiments were carried out on a server with 8 cores and 32 GB memory. The GPU is V100 and the system is Ubuntu Linux 16.04. We tested the framework with 5 types of vulnerabilities, such as memory overflow and non-point difference. Our preliminary experimental results indicate that the combination AST, walk-to-walk, diffpool can achieve the best result on the benchmark. Therefore, we use the configuration as the instantiation of the framework to study the second question: how effective is the GNN-based vulnerability prediction? We compared with 3 static analysis tools: CPP check, cloud static analyzer, and flow finder. The preliminary experimental results indicate that, compared with these tools, the GNN-based method can effectively improve the detection accuracy rates and recall rates. For the next step, our plan is as follows. Extensive study of more combinations are more benchmarks. The application of our framework on the programs in other languages like Java and Python. Improved GNN learning method to improve the effectiveness further. That's the end of my presentation. Thanks.